from the FIFA World Cup 2026 in the US to the Caribbean. What's the connection? Have you ever noticed that the greatest journeys rarely end wherever they begin? A football fan travels thousands of miles to watch the FIFA World Cup, which is a great event. A music lover crosses an ocean to experience Carnival. A family books a vacation looking for sunshine and returns home with lifelong friendships and memories they never expected. What if I told you that these experiences are more connected than you might actually imagine? What if the final whistle at the end of World Cup isn't the end of a journey, but it's actually the beginning of today? We're exploring how the world's biggest sporting event can become the getaway to one of the world's richest cultures. Yes, we're diving into it today. We are going to the Caribbean. Yes, we're going to the Caribbean today, guys. We're gonna have a great discussion. Awesome. Welcome to another episode of Island Vacation Travel Podcast. I am your host, Al Philosian, and thank you for joining me wherever you're listening to me from around the world today. We could see the feedback and the stats. Thank you, Japan. Today, we're exploring a fascinating connection that goes far beyond football, aka, as they say in America, soccer. We're talking about how FIFA World Cup taking place across the United States, Canada, and Mexico actually became one of the greatest opportunities ever for Caribbean tourism. Sounds fun, huh? What's the correlation? Because when millions of travelers come to North America for the world's biggest sporting event, many won't be ready to go home. And who can blame them? They'll be looking for one more experience, one more destination, one more story to tell. And that's exactly where the Caribbean comes in. The Caribbean isn't simply close to the United States. The Caribbean offers something many travelers are searching for today: authenticity, culture, connection, celebration. When you really think about it, the FIFA World Cup and the Caribbean Carnival aren't competitors. They're partners. One celebrates the world's greatest game, the other celebrates the world's greatest cultures. And I emphasize that the world's greatest cultures do come from the Caribbean. Okay? One fills the stadiums, the other fills the streets represented, right? One creates championships and the other creates communities. Well, I'll say they both create communities. Both create unforgettable memories. And that's exactly what today's traveler is actually searching for. The traveler of today is very different from the travelers of 20 years ago. People aren't simply checking for destinations off bucket lists anymore. They're looking for experiences. They want stories worth sharing. They want they want photos that capture emotion, not just scenery. Okay? They want to meet the local people. They want to taste authentic food. They want to learn traditions, hear music they've never heard before. They want to feel like they became part of something bigger than themselves. That's why experiences like the FIFA World Cup and the Caribbean Carnivals across the Caribbean continues to grow in popularity. They're emotional, they're immersive, and they are unforgettable. Think about a football supporter traveling halfway around the world to cheer for their country. They're not simply buying a match ticket. They're investing in a memory, and that is what money is for. They're saying, I was there. I felt that atmosphere. I witnessed history. And once the tournament ends, many of those travelers aren't ready for the journey to be over. And you can blame them. They're asking themselves, what else can I experience while I'm here? That's where Caribbean destinations have an incredible opportunity, along with Mexico. Let's not forget Mexico. Now, the Caribbean advantage. The Caribbean possesses something that cannot be manufactured anywhere: authenticity. You cannot recreate centuries of culture. You cannot imitate the rhythm of steel pan echoing through the island streets. You cannot duplicate the warmth of Caribbean hospitality. You cannot manufacture traditions that have been passed from one generation to the next. Visitors don't simply come for beaches, they come for people, they come for food, they come for music, they come to dance, they come for festivals, they come to experience cultures that continue to thrive and grow. Every island has its own personality, its own rhythm, its own traditions, and its very own story. That's what makes the Caribbean one of the most diverse tourism regions in the world. And there are similar ones like the Maldives, French Polynesia, Kiribati Islands, Cabo Verde. These are all the Bahamas, but it's part of the Caribbean. Hawaii Islands. So there are other places, but there is nothing like the Caribbean. Okay? Now, from the stadiums to the streets. Picture this. A traveler arrives in Miami for one of the games, one of the World Cup games, right? And they attended an unforgettable match. The stadium is filled with supporters from every single continent. The flags wave proudly, thousands of voices singing together. Strangers become friends for 90 minutes, which is a beautiful thing. The energy is unforgettable. And then the tournament is over, like it is right now. Instead of boarding a flight home, they board a plane heading to the south. A few hours later, they're landed in St. Lucia, Barbados, Grenada, Antigua, or as far down as Trinidad, or the ABC Islands. They want to check out Curacao. The pace changes, the scenery changes, but something feels familiar. The celebration continues, the stadium becomes the streets. The football jerseys becomes a carnival costume. The chants become soca music. The supporters become family. That's the connection. That's the journey modern travelers are searching for. Okay? Now, guys, this episode is actually sponsored by Island Vacation Travel Agency. Okay? And this is Island Vacation Travel Podcast is part of Island Vacation Travel Agency. Whether you're planning a Caribbean vacation or you're planning a cruise, a destination wedding, a family reunion, corporate travel, meetings, a luxury escape, or just extending your FIFA World Cup 2026 adventure into the Caribbean, Island Vacation Travel Agency specializes in creating personalized travel experiences designed around you. Visit www.vacas.com for your next planning of your next unforgettable journey with a professional travel advisor who understands that every trip should be as unique as the traveler. And before you pack your bags, be sure to actually visit our store, IVTA Wear Store, featuring travel-inspired apparel and accessories for explorers, adventurers, and island lovers, because your journey begins long before you board the plane. Okay? Now, let's get back to it. Carnival, the Caribbean's global stage. When many people hear the word carnival, they immediately think of colorful costumes, feathers, music, dancing. But Carnival is so much more than that. Carnival is actually history. Carnival is identity. Carnival is storytelling. Every island celebrates differently. Every celebration reflects the personality of its people. In Trinidad and Tobago, Carnival is one of the largest cultural celebrations in the world. In Barbados, Crop Over honors heritage while attracting visitors from every corner of the globe. Okay? Grenada's Spice Mass blends music, tradition, and also creativity. Antigua's Carnival showcases national pride and artistic excellence. St. Lucia's Carnival continues to grow into one of the Caribbean's premier cultural events, attracting visitors eager to experience authentic island cultures throughout music, art, food, creativity, and hospitality. These aren't simply festivals, they were living expressions of Caribbean identity. And for travelers seeking meaning experiences, they are unforgettable. Now, why does authenticity matter? Anyone can watch a football match on a television, but no one can truly experience Caribbean Carnival from their living room. Not possible. You have to stand in those streets under the hot sun, hear the drums, feel the bass, taste the local cuisines, drink some liquor, dance with strangers who quickly become your friends. That's why experimental travel continues to shape the future of tourism. People don't just want vacations, they want transformation, they want connection, they want memories they'll still be talking about years from now. And that's exactly what the Caribbean actually delivers. Tourism is much bigger than hotels and airplanes, it's an economic engine. When visitors arrive in the Caribbean, they support restaurants, taxi drivers, tour guides, local artists, photographers, street vendors, musicians, craft makers, farmers, event organizers, small business owners. Every dollar spent creates opportunity. Every visitor supports another family. Every successful festival strengthens local communities. That's the true power of tourism. It doesn't simply move people, it changes people's lives. We've already established that. Something very important. The FIFA World Cup isn't simply a sporting event, it is a global travel movement. Millions of visitors from every continent will be traveling to North America. The question is, where do they go after the final whistle? right? For many travelers, the answer could be the Caribbean, not because it's nearby, but because it offers something completely different, a chance to slow down, a chance to reconnect, a chance to celebrate and experience cultures that have inspired the world for several generations. Now, there's a rise in multi-destination travel. Today's travelers think very differently. They're no longer asking, where can I go? They're asking, how much can I experience when I get there? Someone flying from whether it's Europe, Africa, Asia, South America, or even Australia has already invested in international airfare. They've already requested vacation time. They've already planned around one of the world's biggest events. Naturally, they begin asking other questions. If I'm already this close, what else can I actually experience? That's where the Caribbean becomes the perfect second chapter. The United States becomes the gateway. Canada becomes the gateway. Mexico becomes the gateway. The Caribbean becomes the unforgettable ending, or perhaps the beginning of a lifelong relationship with the islands. Let me just give you a brief synopsis of what a World Cup to St. Lucia itinerary would look like. Just imagine this as a journey. You arrive in Miami, you attend the Freedom World Cup match, you then experience like so much excitement because Miami is just amazing. The international atmosphere, the restaurants down there, oh boy, the nightlife in Miami, the energy. Then, instead of flying home, you board a short flight to St. Lucia. Within hours, you would be standing beneath the majestic pitons, enjoying fresh Caribbean cuisine and maybe some coconut water, meeting local artisans, exploring fishing villages, listening to live local music, relaxing beside crystal clear waters. Then Carnival begins. The same traveler who celebrates inside a football stadium is now dancing through colorful Caribbean streets, surrounded by soca music, creativity, laughter, and the incredible warmth of the St. Lucian hospitality. That's not simply another vacation. That is a travel story people tell for the rest of their lives. And there are people experiencing this right now. St. Lucia Carnival just ended on Tuesday. There are people from World Cup, whether from Atlanta or Miami, and they headed down home. Okay? Transportation connects every experience. One thing every traveler depends on, whether they think about it or not, it's transportation. Every memorable vacation begins with movement, from the airport to the hotel, to the cruise spot, to the attractions, to restaurants, to Carnival. Reliable transportation transforms stress into comfort. Professional drivers become ambassadors and, tour guides. Every smooth transfer creates a better visitor experience. Transportation isn't simply about getting somewhere, it's about helping travelers enjoy every movement along the way. Guys, let's go to a quick break. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Island Vacation Transportation, serving Central Florida and worldwide with dependable airport transfers, cruise transportation, corporate transportation, private transportation, family vacation, theme park transportation, and also group transfers. Whether you're arriving in Orlando International Airport or heading to Port Canaveral or Tampa or visiting Walt Disney or even Universal Orlando, attending a conference, or simply exploring Central Florida, Legoland, or Camp Margaritaville, Island Vacation Transportation helps your vacation begin the moment you arrive, in comfort, with professionalism, reliability, because travel should never, ever begin with stress, okay? Visit Island Vacation Transport for your transportation needs. Now, why travel advisors matter? Guys, technology has made booking easier, so you think. But planning meaning in experiences has become a little bit more complicated. Imagine trying to coordinate World Cup matches, international flights, multiple countries, Caribbean islands, carnival celebrations, hotels, airport transfers, excursions, travel, insurance, restaurant reservations, and also local experiences. That's not simply booking a vacation. That's designing an experience. That's where travel advisors continue to provide tremendous value. Technology gives information. Travel professionals provide confidence, a great experience. They provide knowledge, and not forgetting, a peace of mind. Okay? Travel is changing. More travelers are actually prioritizing wellness, not simply luxury, not simply sightseeing, but balance, rest, healing, connection. Very important. The Caribbean has understood wellness long before it became a global trend. It's a way of life down there. Fresh seafood, fresh fruit, ocean breeze, mountain air, community, nature. Time is slowed down. Sometimes the greatest souvenir isn't something you buy. It's how you feel when you return home. Today's episode, guys, is also proudly sponsored by Blessings Seamoss out of St. Lucia, inspired by the beautiful island of St. Lucia. For generations, Caribbean communities have embraced the natural resources of the sea as part of their healthy lifestyle. Blessing Seamoss continues that tradition by offering products inspired by Caribbean wellness. Whenever you travel, sorry about that, working or focusing on better health, remember that wellness is one of life's greatest investments, especially to you. All right? Now, before we continue, I want to take a quick pause and celebrate one of the Caribbean's greatest cultural events. As this episode is actually being recorded, St. Lucia's Carnival 2026 has concluded another incredible season. The spectacular parade of the bands held on Monday and Tuesday transformed the streets into an unforgettable celebration of color, music, creativity, and national pride. But Carnival is never just 2 days. It's months of preparation. Designers creating breathtaking costumes, musicians producing the soundtrack of an entire nation, volunteers, security officers, stage crews, sponsors, media professionals, food vendors, small businesses, thousands of people working together to showcase St. Lucia to the world. Every masquerader, to Every steel pan musician, every DJ, every photographer, every costume designer, every food vendor, and every single volunteer. We do not want to forget you volunteers. Thank you very much. You continue to prove that the Caribbean culture belongs on the world stage. Congratulations to everyone who competed in this year's celebration. To every performer, every band, every designer, every organizer, and to all of this year's champions. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. You represented St. Lucia with excellence. Before this episode is released, I encourage everyone to visit the official Carnival results and celebrate each other's winnings and the winners, from the Soca Monarch champions to the Carnival Queen, Band of the Year, and all the outstanding performers who made Carnival unforgettable for 2026. All right. I want to say a special salute to the St. Lucian musicians and to St. Lucia's music. I'd also like to recognize the incredible musicians who continue to introduce St. Lucia to audiences around the world. Congratulations to our soca artists, our calypso legends, our steel pan musicians, our producers, our bands, and our DJs, and especially our Dennery segment artists. Dennery segment has become much more than a local sound. Good job, guys. It is now an international movement. Its unmistakable rhythm, its incredible energy, and its unmistakably St. Lucian identity continue to attract audiences throughout the Caribbean, North America, Europe, Africa, and beyond. Long before someone books a trip, they hear a song. Long before they experience Carnival, they discover the music. Music has always been one of the Caribbean's greatest ambassadors. That's why we should always treat our musicians special. Carnival may be over, but St. Lucia celebrations continues. If you missed out on Carnival this year, don't worry. St. Lucia's cultural calendar is far from over. Okay? One, there's still Carnival celebrations going on right now until the end of the month of July. One of the island's most authentic celebration takes place every October during Creole Heritage Month. Throughout the month, communities across St. Lucia celebrate the traditions that make the island unique. Visitors experience traditional Creole cuisines. The food is amazing. Local markets, folk dancing, storytelling, folk storytelling, arts and craft, right? Oh, I don't have my coal pot right around me. Live music, community celebrations, the beautiful Creole language that remains such an important part of St. Lucia's identity. You hear it all throughout the Dennery segment. And yes, guys, I do speak St. Lucian French Creole. Moi parle Creole. Moi parle Creole St. Lucie. Okay? Yes. Now, the month concludes with Journée Creole, one of the island's most beloved celebrations. It's one of my favorite reasons to go back down to the island because it's a great time, good food, good vibes, right? If you're searching for authentic Caribbean culture, you want to go check that out. October may become your favorite time to visit St. Lucia, because St. Lucia isn't simply beautiful, it's deeply cultural. And those traditions are celebrated all year long. All right? Now, guys, we have some great opportunities I wanted to bring to the forefront before we continue. I'd like to extend a personal invitation to businesses throughout the Caribbean and the United States, Canada, Europe, Africa, Asia, and around the world. If you're looking for an authentic way to introduce your business to an international audience of travelers, would love to work with you. Whether you're a hotel, a resort, a villa, a restaurant, tour company, transportation provider, a destination management company, a DMC, a cruise partner, or even a tourism board like St. Lucia Tourism Board, Antigua Tourism Board, Africa Tourism Board, Ghana Tourism Board, whatever it may be, retail businesses, airline, travel technology company, or any business serving travelers. The Island Vacation Travel Podcast offers opportunity to tell your story to listeners actively planning their next adventure. Advertising isn't simply about promoting products. It's about building relationships. It's about inspiring travel. It's about connecting your brand with an audience that values experiences. To learn more about sponsorship opportunities, featured interviews, destination spotlights, or advertising packages, contact Island Vacation Travel Agency and we could help you out with that. Or you could also visit our podcast website, which would be islandvacationpodcast.com. Together, we can inspire more people to discover the incredible cultures, destinations, and businesses that make travel unforgettable. I'd like to leave you with one important thought. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is much more than a sporting event. It's an opportunity. It's an opportunity for destinations, an opportunity for entrepreneurs, an opportunity for travel advisors, an opportunity for airlines, hotels, restaurants, transportation providers, tour guides, local artisans, musicians, and every small businesses that benefit from tourism. Major global events have always influenced travel. People travel for the Olympics, they travel for Formula One, they travel for the Super Bowl, they travel for music festivals, and now millions of people travel for World Cup. Well, they've always traveled for World Cup. The question becomes, where do you go next? Where do you go after the event is done? To the next event. For many, the answer should be the Caribbean. Not simply because it's nearby, but because it offers something no stadium can ever offer. Authentic culture, warm hospitality, rich history, meaningful connections, and unforgettable experiences. The next generation of travelers isn't asking, what's the cheapest vacation? They're asking, what experience will stay with me forever? They want to connect with local communities. They want to learn. They want to grow. They want vacations that become part of their identity. That's exactly where Caribbean destinations shine. When someone visits St. Lucia, they not simply checking into a resort, they're learning about Creole traditions, meeting local artists, enjoying authentic cuisines, listening to music that tells stories, exploring communities that proudly preserve their heritage. They're becoming part of something much bigger than themselves. That's what meaningful travel looks like. Every destination has beautiful scenery. Many destinations have luxury hotels. Some have famous attractions, but not every destination has unforgettable stories. The Caribbean has thousands, if not millions of them. Stories of resilience, stories of freedom, stories of music, stories of family, stories of triumph, stories of celebration, and stories of hope. Stories that continue to inspire generations. As travel professionals, Our responsibility isn't simply to book vacations. It's to introduce people to those stories because stories create emotional connections. An emotional connection creates a lifelong traveler and a friend. The future of Caribbean tourism belongs to all of us. Tourism boards, travel advisors, hotel, restaurants, creators, content creators, transportation companies, taxi operators, cruise partners, tour operators, artists, musicians, influencers, photographers, not forgetting my farmers, craft vendors, and the small businesses. Every interaction shapes someone's travel experiences. The smile at the airport, the welcome at the hotel, the conversation during the island tour, the meal shared at a local restaurant, the music heard during Carnival, the handmade souvenirs purchased from a local artisan. Those moments become lasting memories. When we work together, visitors receive unforgettable experiences. Communities benefit economically. Small businesses grow. The Caribbean culture continues to thrive. Okay? That is great. Now, before we close today's episode, would like to thank the incredible organization supporting Island Vacation Travel Podcast. A special thank you to Island Vacation Travel Agency, of course, helping travelers discover unforgettable experiences throughout the Caribbean and around the world. Whether you're planning a Caribbean vacation, a cruise, a destination wedding, a group getaway, corporate travel, luxury travel, or you're going to a event like Formula One or the Women's World Cup, Island Vacation Travel Agency is here to help you. Visit www.islandvacas.com and let our experienced travel advisors design personalized itineraries tailored for you. We also want to thank Island Vacation Transportation, providing dependable airport transfers, cruise transportation, private transportation, and corporate transportation throughout Central Florida and worldwide. Thank you to Blessing Simos, inspired by wellness traditions of St. Lucia. We also want to say thank you to IVTA Wear Store, where travelers can proudly represent their passion for exploration through travel-inspired apparel and accessories. And thank you to Cozy Earth, right? I want to say thank you to Cozy Earth, All Glory, and Scrawny Golf Shoes, Spikeless Golf Shoes, for supporting conversations that encourage people to explore the world. Your partnership helps us tremendously, and it is very meaningful to our storytelling. As we wrap up, guys, today's episode, I'd like to leave you with one simple question. Okay? What if the final whistle isn't the end of the journey? What if it's only the beginning? What if a football match introduces you to a new country? What if that country introduces you to a new culture? What if that culture changes the way you see the world? That's the true purpose of travel. Not simply to visit places, but to broaden perspectives, to build friendship, to create understanding, to remind us that although we come from different countries and backgrounds, speak different languages, celebrate different traditions, we're connected by something much greater: our shared humanity. We must never forget that. Because at the end of the day, we all want happiness. We all want belonging. We all want connection. And we all want experiences that become a lifelong memory. Few places in the world create those memories quite like the Caribbean. Let's return to the question we asked at the very beginning. What is the connection between FIFA World Cup and Caribbean Carnivals? The answer is simple. It's people. It's passion. It's pride. It's culture. The World Cup brings nations together through the universal language of football. Caribbean Carnival brings communities together through the universal language of celebration. One fills stadiums with cheers, the other fills the streets with music. One celebrates competition, the other celebrates culture. But both reminds us that our differences are something to celebrate, not something to divide us. Imagine beginning your journey inside one of the world's greatest sporting events, ending that same journey dancing through the colorful streets of the Caribbean. Or, well, St. Lucia just ended during Carnival. That's more than a vacation, I would say. That's a lifelong experience that would be worth it. The Caribbean is ready. As the Caribbean continues growing into one of the world's most desirable destinations for events, this is our opportunity to showcase our people, our music, our food, our history, our festivals, our resilience, our creativity, our brilliant people, and our unmatched hospitality. Whether someone visits St. Lucia, Jamaica, Barbados, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, Antigua, Dominica, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Bahamas, St. Kitts and Nevis, Montserrat, to name a few, or any of our beautiful Caribbean destinations. Not forget the ABC Islands, Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao, Martinique and Guadeloupe, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Haiti. They'll discover that every island has its own rhythm. It's our traditions. It's our personality. It's our unforgettable story. If you've thought about attending the United States World Cup, why stop there? Or if you visited Canada or Mexico for the World Cup, why stop there? We still have some time. Turn one incredible trip into 2 unforgettable experiences, or 3 or 4. How about just make it a lifelong experience? Experience the excitement of the world's greatest sporting event, then discover the warmth, the beauty, the culture, the cuisine, the music, and as I reiterate, the hospitality of the Caribbean. Whether you're planning Carnival, a luxury vacation, a honeymoon, a cruise, a wellness retreat, family reunion, business meetings or conventions, or an immersive cultural experience, there's an island waiting to welcome you and would be honored to help you plan every step of your journey. Okay? Now, this is a message to our entrepreneurs. Before we close, I'd like to speak directly to the entrepreneurs and business owners listening today. Again, if you own a villa, a resort, restaurant, transportation company, you're a tour operator, destination management company, DMC, a store, boutique store, retail store, surf store, a tourism organization, or any business servicing travelers, I'd like to personally invite you to partner with Island Vacation Travel Podcast. Our audience continues to grow across the Caribbean, United States, Canada, Europe, Africa, and Asia. Our listeners aren't simply entertainment seekers. They're travelers, business professionals, families, group leaders, cruise enthusiasts, adventure seekers, and people actively planning their next life's journey. Advertising with us isn't simply about promoting your business. It's about telling your story, building relationships, and connecting with travelers looking for trusted brands and unforgettable experiences. If you like to become a sponsor, schedule an interview, promote your destination, or advertise your business, contact Island Vacation Travel Agency or Island Vacation Podcast. Together, we can strengthen tourism, support small businesses, and inspire more people to explore our incredible world. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to the Island Vacation Travel Podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, whether it's YouTube, Pandora, Apple, iHeart, to name a few. Wherever you listen to it, leave us a review, share this episode with a friend, share it with a football or soccer fan, share it with sports fans, share it with anyone who loves the Caribbean, share it with anyone who travels for events, or simply share it with someone dreaming about their next adventure. Every share helps us inspire another traveler, and if you're planning your experience, a Caribbean Carnival vacation, a cruise, a destination wedding, destination honeymoon, corporate travel, a meeting, group travel, or your next luxury escape, visit islandvacays.com. That's ISLANDVACAS.com. Our experienced team is ready to create personalized itinerary design just for you. And don't forget to visit ivtawestore.com, where travel inspires apparel. Let us help you wear your passion and explore the world. Don't forget to check out our store. Always, I'm Al Philosian. Thank you for spending part of your day with me here on Island Vacation Travel Podcast. Remember, the world is filled with incredible places, but the greatest journeys aren't measured by miles you travel. They're measured by the people you meet, the cultures you embrace, the lessons you've learned, and the memories you bring home. So, wherever your next passport stamp takes you, travel with curiosity, travel with kindness, travel with purpose, travel with passion, and never stop creating memories. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you on the next venture. This is Island Vacation Podcast. Safe travels, and I'll see you somewhere in the world. It is how we have fun in the sun. Stay tuned for our next episode. It's gonna be awesome. Till next time.